Agenda, is any discussion? Rhonda, any discussion? No discussion. Can I get a motion to approve the agenda as presented?
So moved.
Gary, moved.
I second.
Rhonda, second.
Yeah.
We need a roll call. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Okay. Got it. Bangor Fire. Mike, right up there. Introduce yourself.
All right. Good. I speak pretty loud. Good evening, everyone. I am Derek Babcock. I'm actually the Vice President of the Bangor Public Schools School Board. So I'll be here on behalf of the school talking about our bond proposal that'll be on the May 3rd election. And I believe that's the only thing on the ballot here, May 3rd. So I know most areas it's the only thing on the ballot. And so we've been working hard over the past year and a half actually doing surveys of the district, the needs and the wants, and realized that some of the things that we actually need at our district, and financially we just can't do that with our current financial situation. So the bond will go for quite a few things. It will touch every building in the district. It'll touch every facility, including all the way from transportation to all the different buildings, the elementary school. One of the biggest, quite a few things I'll touch on is just a few of the major bond proposals. It's going to go to enhance the entryways to all of our schools. Right now you can walk in the front door, and of course they have to let you in the front door during the day, but you can walk right in and you can just walk through the whole building. And so we're wanting to put in secure entrances, so you have to stop at the front office to get let in through the whole, once you get past the front office, then they can let you in through the rest of the building. So that was one of the security issues that arose. We had a security survey done by the Buren Sheriff's Department that came through and gave us a lot of ideas about how we can enhance and improve our school security. One of the other major issues was all the school teachers complained about was that they can close and lock their doors to their classrooms, but they have to use a key every time. It's a key lock. It's not there's no turn knob on the inside. So once they're in their room, so if somebody left their key in the building or left their key somewhere else, they can't lock or unlock their door. And so we're going to go through the whole district and replace all the door locks with access so they can lock and unlock their door from inside their classroom. So if something were to happen, they can go in there and quickly lock the door. One of the other improvements will be a lot better signage. One of the biggest complaints is, well, where is South Walnut or where is the building? And so we've got some signs there now, but we'll have better illuminated signage to where all the buildings are. The other thing we learned, through these past couple of years with COVID, with the air ventilation and HVAC, our school was built in 1967. It has no air conditioning. It's got boiler heat, and so and the ventilation is not the best like it is in most other old buildings. So one of the big proposals is to put heating and air conditioning throughout the whole building and improve the air circulation and airflow through the building, all the buildings, to provide better air quality for our students. We'll be touching on the athletic facility. We're not calling it the football field anymore. It's going to be called a multi-purpose field. When all that was built in the late 60s, they had their track and field events inside on the football field, which was great then, but it's not great now with soccer and all the rest of the teams. It's not wide enough for a soccer field, and it's not very usable most of the year, especially even like right now with all this rain we've had. And so, AstroTurf is what most schools are going to, and so, we would turf the field and move the track events outside the field, and so we have a full length playing field for soccer, but one of the biggest things would be for our band. And I'm gonna touch on the band quite a bit here in just a minute, but, the band, would use that field for their practice field, for their band events, for their marching band, and be able to use it a lot more throughout the year if it wasn't, turf like it is now. The biggest expense for this bond, the bond proposal is for $42 million, and that's over a 3-year period with what we're trying to do. We're trying to get to a 7 mil. Right now we're at 4.5 mil. So the bond proposal is basically a renewal of the 4.5 mils that we're currently at and asking for 2.5 more to get to 7 mils total. A survey of all the rest of the school districts in Van Buren County showed that we are the lowest bond-rated school district in the county at 4.5 mils. With Watervliet being at 6, Lawrence being at 6.5, Decatur at 7, Pawpaw at 8. Gobles is actually the highest. They pay 11 mils for their school district at Gobles. So we're trying to get to 7 mils is the key spot to be for that's called the State Loan Revolving Fund, and that is to be able to borrow the money at a better rate through the state borrowing and state loan revolving fund, but you have to be at 7 mils to be able to access that. And so that was our goal, is to try to get this 7 mils to be able to use that state revolving fund and to be able to do the things that we want to do. I want to circle back to the band because the biggest bulk of that $43 million will go to build a performing arts building. Those of you that have students in our district or follow us on Facebook know that our band and drama are one of the biggest draws and the biggest things in our school. We have over 200 students in our band program, middle school through high school. They just got back from a week at Disney. Every 4 years they go down there as a band trip to play. They have huge festivals. They have huge performances. The auditorium at the school is too small for the band. There's just too many kids in the band, and so they've had to hold their band performances in the gymnasium, which works, but it's not ideal for a band performance or for a drama performance. And so one of the biggest things in this bond proposal is to build a performing arts center attached to the band room at the end of the parking lot, and that'll be for band and drama, which we have one of the greatest needs. And so one of the other few things will be the transportation department. The transportation building is about half the size of this building as the office and bathrooms, and they were built again back in the 60s, and they're beyond their useful life as far as fixing up, and so we're going to build a new transportation office and for the maintenance and the transportation people as well. So none of these things on the bond are going towards maintenance items. We're not tearing up. We're redoing one of the parking lots that needs to be redesigned in the back of South Walnut for the pickup and drop off. Another cause of COVID. We have about double the amount of parents now that bring their kids to school versus riding the bus, so which has created a dilemma with the pickup and drop off area. And so we're going to redesign the back parking lot there at South Walnut for the pickup and drop off. But none of this bond is going towards major maintenance items. We have a great maintenance program. We have a great maintenance budget. These are going towards items that, through our survey, deemed necessary and deemed a need for our district versus a want. So I know this is a bad time. I tell everybody there's never a good time to ask for a bond. There's never a good time to, ask for more. This has been in the works for a long time. I like to finish on that this is like a legacy bond. It's something that we're leaving. It doesn't affect me. My kids aren't going to use it. The juniors and seniors that are at our school now won't even see it because it'll take 3 or 4 years to get this done. And so the middle school, 9th graders will get to see it. My grandkids will get to see it. My neighbors' kids will get to use it. And it'll be used for many, many years to come. everything I had. Usually, I toted that big poster around. Usually, Superintendent Johnson's with me, pointed everything, and I kind of pointed out on the map, but he had the band boosters meeting to go to at 6:30, so I came here to hit this one. We tried to hit every board meeting. And I know we're kind of playing catch up. We're a little bit behind. I know that mail-in ballots have already been sent out and everything, but we wanted to at least come and try to touch base. And I have time for a few questions. If anybody has a couple questions, yes, sir.
My only question would be, the age of the buildings. Obviously, there's probably going to be asbestos and things in these. Has there been a survey or any kind of a check to see if this is actually?
Great question. In 2012, when the bond went through in 2012, they replaced all the doors and windows, and at that time, they did the asbestos removal and asbestos survey. That was actually one thing. We thought we were going to get hit with a big asbestos survey this time. But they said no, that the one that we had from back then suffices. And so they took care of that years ago, which was nice.
So that's good savings then.
Yes.
Yeah,
yeah.
good.
That's a great question. Anybody else have anything for me? Kurt, nothing. I've seen you at every one of these now. I should have just had you come up and give this.
Well, I just want to tell that the asbestos thing that was through the, and I talked to Derek about this before, how they're spending our money now. The contingency funds, these builders, they try to get it as low as they can. And that was a good question, because all of a sudden they came to both the caulk and the windows and asbestos in it. We have to bring in hazmat. I was like, really? You didn't know that? So there's a lot of questions that you need to ask when you, like what you just asked, when you have these people coming in. So there's all this big contingency funds,
And I caught that in the GMB, the architects that are doing it had that as a contingency fund. I said, no, we don't have to do that. And they went back and did some homework and realized that. And it's like, oh, we just have that in there, just to have it in there. I was like, yeah, but, we know that it got done, and I've been on the board for 12 years now, and so I know that, what happened, during the last bond and the last remodel, which they did roofs, doors, windows, and parking lot in the last one back in 2012.
It's good to look ahead and deter surprises.
Yep, yes, thank you. Anybody else? Right. Yes, sir.
What's the average cost per average property owner?
Right, that was part of my speech, I just forgot about it. So the average cost for, if you can go to our website and plug it in, it's about $10 to $15 a month, so it's about $120 more per year for the average person. Because we're only raising, it's only a 2.5 mil increase. So it's 4.5 mils is the renewal that you're already paying, and so it'll be an increase of 2.5 mils.
So what's the average taxable value?
I think it was based off of $120,000. It's in this. That's one of the questions that Mr. Johnson usually addresses. It is, he does the financial, and I usually do all the building stuff. So, on a taxable value, $100,000 house will cost on average about $250 per year, which is at $20 a month. Matter of fact, I will give this to you. I brought a whole stack of flyers and stuff, and it is broke down right here in our frequently asked questions, so if you want to look at that. And it has the flyer of where what we're doing to the different buildings and everything like that. And all this is also on our website.
So what's the increase in millage again? How many mils?
2.5 mils will be the increase, yes. Yep. So it's 4.5 renewal, but it's all in one ballot language. They didn't break it down, so it's not two different, asking for two different things. It's asking for one. Yeah. All right. Thank you, everybody.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks.
Yeah, thank you. Have a good evening.
Bloomingdale Telecommunications, Steve?
Well, thank you. At the last meeting, I wasn't able to be here for that. I think I had kid things going on, but my assistant GM, Janine, was here for that. And so I did want to follow up that we do have a project that's starting kind of early, second or so week in May. We will have a pre-construction meeting. It just got scheduled today, so I will get that information Ken, I'll get that information to you and to Christie so that you can disseminate it to the board members. If you want to attend the pre-construction meeting, you're welcome to do so. I mean, they're normally fairly straightforward. I do know that you folks had some kind of specific questions about how the construction is going to be handled on some of the fire lanes. This piece of the bigger Saddle Lake project, there are only a few fire lanes, but I did ask that question to the contractors. And just remember, there's the contractors, and then there's the resident engineer, who is the engineers that we hire on our behalf to be out, and they both do inspections, and they're out kind of overseeing the job for us. And both of them kind of chimed in. The contractor had said what they normally do is they notify the residents in the area, they coordinate that thing. There is some concern about, during the daytime, as they're doing their work along these fire lanes, that they would be closed to traffic for that brief period of time. Never close to emergency vehicles. They can always get something out of the way if something big was going on. But that they would work with the residents, make sure that the residents, especially in the back of a fire lane, would know that this is going to happen. They're able to obviously park their vehicles close to the main road, and they may need to be able to walk back and forth during a day. But normally they would be out of the way in the evenings, in the non-daytime hours. So, but I do, if you're interested and you really want to make sure that you understand that more fully, either we can have the contractors come here before they begin any of that sort of work, or that you can attend the pre-construction meeting, ask all your questions, make sure you understand that, voice all your concerns, because I think it's important that,
I think we'll be setting up with our fire chief, what fire lanes are on, so that he's aware. So if he has an emergency, he'll know.
And if he wants to come and either be part of the pre-construction meeting or meet separately,
I think I'd like to come.
And that's like I said, middle of this afternoon, they set the date and time, so I'll get that to you tomorrow or the next day. And so I just wanted to make sure that you understood that part's going to be going forward. They're going to start construction. They felt like they really had pretty much all the materials either in hand or is going to be coming. The only thing that, in terms of materials, that they won't have is they have this big, and they call them a handhold, but they're basically a big tub that are precast concrete, and a couple of those they don't have, and they'll need that to sell electronics. But
where's the construction starting right off the bat? What section of the township?
That'll all get talked about in the pre-construction meeting. So, and sometimes they'll get, and all depending on what the road conditions are and stuff like that, sometimes they'll just have some boring crews out doing some things where there's, waterways, ditches, culverts, that sort of thing. Other times they'll get plows out and they'll be able to make some, we've had a decent chunk of rain. It's still a little mushy and a little difficult to be out in the ditch and out on the edges of the right of way. So, but we are looking forward to getting that going. Separately from that, and I don't know if Janina talked about this at the last meeting, but we've gotten full RUS approval to use ARPA funds, and so we have some kind of final engineering pieces to break the reconnect funds and the ARPA funds into two separate areas, and we're looking to do that on the other pieces of Saddle Lake, and also in the project that is both in Arlington and Columbia Township, so that there's that piece that's over by Scott Lake, Jeff's.
24th Avenue.
Over that way. So we're getting that moving as well. We do feel like that we're going to be able to really get most all of this stuff kind of back underway in terms of the engineering will be done. Federal government will need to approve the engineering and the plans and specs, and then then you still have to do all the bid process, everything else. So But we're really feeling positive that we're gonna do this first part of Saddle Lake, then we'll do the second part of Saddle Lake, and then also that, Arlington Township, Columbia Township area. So, does anybody have any questions or anything else? And I think
I'm good.
I think that just, you know, hopefully folks understand that area around the Saddle Lake that we'll be working on here this spring, that should go fairly quick. If you're gonna come to that meeting, that'll be great, because then you'll understand the process that we have in place, if there's damage, or if residents have complaints, concerns, or anything else. So then we take that, we get it, our engineering firm gets it, the contractors get it, and then we're able to, people are able to respond really quickly, because one of the things that's really important with these jobs is if there's damage, which there always is, if there's complaints or concerns or anything else, that they voice them right away, and that we work to resolve any issues that confront them. Now, it is one of those things where people will say, well, how come you haven't restored this part and thrown the grass seed and everything else? And it's like, well, because maybe it's still winter time, or maybe it's not spring, or, you always have to, sometimes there's a reason why you didn't do the restoration 20 minutes after the place got collapsed. Any other questions? Any questions by any? Okay.
I know, it looked like.
Thanks so much, everybody.
Senior Service, I'm gonna have to hold off on you. You're actually on our agenda right after we go through the consent agenda approval. So.
Public comments on the agenda.
Pardon?
Public comments on the agenda.
Yeah, is there any other public comment that would like to be made on the agenda items at this point?
Sure.
Karen, you're gonna be next. This lady standing up back here.
Okay.
Karen, you're gonna be next.
Next, come on up to the mic.
Sorry. Take one pass.
Good afternoon. Good evening. I'm here talking about the things that has been done for senior services. Talking about the things that they have done for me, and that they have done for others. Well, I know they have done things for me, such as get my grass cut, and stuff like that I can't do no more right now, because I have to have both of my knees replaced, and I have arthritis. And the things that I had been taken care of on the inside of my house as well, such as fire alarms and stuff like that, and lights was bad, and lighting going out, and water. So to me, senior services has done a lot for me, and I'm pretty sure they have done a lot for others as well. So what I came to talk about was mainly about the things that they have done for me that I know of, and I'm pretty sure they have done for other people as well. So I'm just one of them that's here to talk about it.
Okay, thank you.
You were.
What's her name?
Excuse me, what's your name?
Oh, I'm sorry.
We need it for
I'm so sorry. That's okay.
That's all right.
Hi. And again, my name is Sharon Campbell.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Karen?
I am Karen Gruss. I kind of scrambled to get this together. The packet wasn't available quite as early, so maybe this is out of order a little bit. The first time I saw it was Easter Saturday, and not a whole lot more until after 5, so we're grand sitting right now, so we're pulling this together. on the topic of employee management, it does seem like personnel reviews have been absent. So something formal would be an improvement. Looked like there were a couple samples in there maybe. Of course, favoritism should be avoided, possibly by including at least one neutral party in reviews to try to prevent that. It may not be affordable, of course, to reward all great performance with pay increases, but I'm sure people at least like to be told that they're doing a good job and give them some appreciation. Observations by other colleagues should probably also be included or entertained as these move forward. Under the assessing department updates, it looked like a couple of things. There was a BSNA proposal in there, and maybe I'm missing the advantages of that, but my first thought was until we have a little better internet, adding that service might not help as many people. But my understanding, at least in the taxes, all this is hosted by the county. So in assessing, I see you shaking your head, it probably is not as available through the county. So that's, when you get to that item, maybe talk about that as a reason for this. Also, there's in the packet amendment to assessor's employment agreement and reaffirming a change of physical hours. Originally, back when there were interviews, I think Saturday was an important part of it, and that has since changed. I'm personally not saying that public hours, specifically for the assessor, need to be on Saturdays, but because it had been a requirement at the time of interviews, I think one party dropped out because of that. So if it could have, I don't know if it's too late to use that as at all of a bargaining chip, or the automatic raises that are built into that contract as a little bit of a trade-off. I don't know, I'm just throwing that out there. You have a section on zoning administrator. Since the board voted unanimously to hire zoning solutions, I hope that they would be the primary for utilizing that professional as much as possible. And then I know there's a desire to plug in whatever holes might be needed aside from that. But there is the possibility of communication getting dropped if there's too many layers, so just being conscientious of that. If there is a description for the assistant, the DA assistant, I didn't see it in the packet. Maybe it was just verbal, maybe it's going to be in there. On the topic of cemeteries and the sexton, what I had noticed is that Jeff Gasper did give notice of intent to leave back in January. I only saw the advertisement over the past week, and that doesn't seem like a long time. I don't personally know Mr. Douglas. I don't even know if he might even be in the room. Okay, that's how much I know of. Anybody want to wait? Nice to meet you. But my only comment then is, so it doesn't appear to already be like a predetermined selection, giving a little more notice for other possibilities is the only. It didn't seem like a long time for anybody. And meanwhile, he's already your interim, so you are covered as far as I know. On the fee schedule section, I don't know if you have a copy of your last fee schedule out for you guys to compare, but I know I didn't see the new one. Maybe it's in there now. Okay. So I couldn't tell which items were changing for any comparison ability. So those are all I have.
Thank you, Karen. Any other public comment? Okay, let's move on to the consent agenda. We have the meetings from the previous meeting. Was there any board comment on those?
I just have a couple of comments on the, some of the checks that went out. I'm assuming that the one for the 1,833 was Jeff Gasper's last check, probably. I don't know. It's for Long Care Plus.
If it's for Long Care Plus, then yes, that would be correct.
There was another one on here for R. Smith and Sons for $1,600.
That was the, dirt out in the baseball field. That was, I think we actually might be the second time I've seen that.
That dirt tile out there?
Yeah.
Okay, because I know they're an excavator, so. I'm thinking Roy's, was routine maintenance for $1,110.
It is a variety of things, maintenance, upgrading some equipment so that we can do the connection to the fire department, various things.
Okay. There's a couple on here for the Courier Leader and the Herald Palladium for both $900 each. I'm assuming those are publications for...
Legal notices,
for...
budget hearing, I'm trying to think, which one, Board of Review, yeah.
Okay. Fire station number 2, it shows a repair of $3,690. Is that radios, or is that the fire truck?
Tower,
The tower?
yes.
Okay.
That will, my understanding is that'll be reimbursed by the insurance company.
Well, based on that, what is our deductible for the insurance company?
That I did not look at. David's been dealing with that particular claim.
Has the fire truck been fixed?
The last I knew, he said the fire truck was going in to be fixed last week.
Yeah, I think so, it's gonna be out for
Yeah.
a while, 30 days or something. I
Okay.
think the deductible for the fire department was $500.
$500 for the deductible?
Yeah, I was over there on the conversation, and I kinda rings in my bell. And I also heard it might be waived by the, tower guys.
By the who?
The guys out there that put up the tower may be paying that for the fire department.
Okay.
There was some discussion about that, but I don't know where it went.
Is that gonna be considered an at-fault accident as far as insurance company concerned?
I don't think so, that was Highwind.
No, I mean the truck.
Oh,
Oh, I don't know what they're gonna,
I have no idea about that one. I have no information on
Okay.
that.
Okay. There was also an amount on there for Ponham for $4,730.
Yes.
I know we approved $3,200.
We approved doing the contract with them, and we actually budgeted for more than the $4,200. We ran into an issue with the initial quote. With the initial quote, we were only allowed to put that on one computer, and only one person could operate it at any time. And with the amount of work that we have going into it for a year, we need to be able to have 2 people working on it at a time, and we need to be able to install it on multiple computers and the server.
So how many computers does that allow us?
That's gonna put it on 3 computers, the server, allow us 2 concurrent users for a year. And then if we want to get rid of the other concurrent user, it's only $160 a year, but we could save $160 a year by getting rid of the concurrent user.
Okay, so the annual renewal for that is what?
I don't have it with me, I don't
Okay.
know.
I think that's all, other than I see our Foster Swift attorney fees are climbing. A bunch in that.
I think that was actually a couple of months that were in there because of just the timing.
Okay. Well, I know roughly $6,800 is,
That's 2 months.
yeah. There was an amount, and I think it was for fire legal fees or something for $1,211. What was that? What is that legal?
We had some regarding the employee handbook that would have gone to fire. And a big chunk of what you looked at earlier, for the, Foster Swift is actually North Lake. It'll get transferred there. I think that might have been it. They had to review the employee handbook quite a bit.
That was gonna be my next question on my comments, but I'll save that, so. Okay, I think that's all, that's the only questions I had, thanks.
Any other board comment on the consent agenda? Can I get a motion to approve the consent agenda as stated?
So moved.
Gary?
I second.
Rhonda second. Paul, this is money, so we have a roll call vote. Gary?
Yes.
Rhonda?
Yes.
Ken, yes. Christie?
Yes.
Pass. Let's see, now we're at the point. Sure.
So, if you wanna go through this, you might wanna at least authorize the county commissioner first. The county commissioner, the road commissioner, wants to say anything, before first on that.
Yeah. How long is your presentation gonna be? Yeah.
10, 15, 10 minutes, don't be like 2 minutes, we'll just let them.
We got, a few people that might be here that's gonna take just a few minutes. County Commissioner, do you have anything you wanna say?
Any questions on the report?
No.
Okay, just real quick, a couple things, as we talked about broadband, of course, that is going forward, and that study's supposed to be done by the first week in July, so we should know what's going on then. And, Palisades, we had another meeting, Palisades group that I'm part of, and, Holtec was there, they're the ones that are, gonna close it down, and some interesting things came out of that, but, you can all rest assured, because tomorrow we're having a drill again for a disaster, so I get to go to Benton Harbor, so I was telling my wife, I said, well, see that cloud coming, you and the dogs are on your own, so I'm gonna be in Benton Harbor directing things, so, we're still doing those, because as you know, Ken, especially that the dry casts, once they dry out, and get moved to the wet ones get moved to the dry ones, they're still gonna be there, we don't know how long, if the government's gonna do anything about moving any of that, so, kind of stay tuned for that, and, set down, I think it's May 31st, if I remember right. So, group trying to get together wants to keep it open, but I think it's past that, so, it's funny, we had the anti-groups forever wanting to close it, so now it's getting closed, now we have the groups that are coming on to keep it open, so,
Well, they can't keep it open, they didn't buy any fuel,
yeah.
so that takes years to get it back.
Yeah, so, and in Holtec, a lot of people were there, asked a lot of questions, and one of the big ones was they're worried about, them building a place for barges to come in off of Lake Michigan, and what if, there's it sinks, or there's rough seas, or there's somebody attacks, it's kind of like what ifs, so you get all those kind of things all the time, and of course, we try to be prepared for everything, so, and last but not least, I'm gonna ring my own bell. 22 people in the state, this year, county commissioners were certified. So my friends have always told me I'm certifiable. Well, now I am. I'm a certified county commissioner, so 22 of us got that designation, so.
Congratulations.
Yep, thanks.
Any new, information on any ARPA funds coming in that you can
No,
make us
actually,
privy to?
we're still status quo, and we have the $7 million set aside. Actually, I was in a meeting today in, Cass County, the, Southwest Michigan Planning Commission, and, Buren County saying, well, we set aside $6 million. I said, well, we can beat that, we set aside $7 million. So, hopefully there's gonna be some more coming, that's what everybody's talking about, more fun, so,
Yeah.
we'll see what happens, so. All right?
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Next one on the list is Road Commissioner. Do you have anything you wanna say? You good?
No, not really.
Okay.
You got your reports,
We got your report?
one came out today.
Yeah, you can put that one in the next.
Yeah, no, I understand.
Yeah.
I see they got graders in Columbia Township, and I was actually on a road a little bit ago that's been graded, so. They're also starting berming they usually berm all the county roads that get seal coated, and whatever local roads are gonna be seal coated that you wanna berm. You can get the spoils if you want them, like you need them in a cemetery to fill a big area or something like that. If the township doesn't want them, private people can get them.
Right out here in my low spot.
Well, you gotta contact Greg and you gotta sign a
Form.
I'll sign her up.
If they're working in the area, they're happy to.
Yeah, we're looking for Phil.
So, keep that in mind.
Okay, anyone else that's on the, Information reports to us.
I want to say one quick thing about Bloomingdale School District. There's a little flyer in the back of the room. They're doing a survey right now for their planning. So it's really important that if you're in that school district, that you provide your input. They want to know everyone. Doesn't matter if you have a child there.
I think senior services is finally on.
Diane, or here she'd be putting it on there?
She's got it. She's going to put it up.
Oh, she is? Well, it's gonna be a little bit different.
Okay.
Like we've updated it.
Thank you.
Diane sent it on Sunday.
Thanks.
I have the one from Diane.
Oh, my. Yeah, the back sheets are on it. Oh. You can keep that open. Okay. So, good evening, and I'm Claire Olney. I am the chair of Senior Services of Van Buren County. And I'm here for Diane, who is also at another meeting. And I'm gonna give you an update on senior services and also talk about our millage proposal. So I'll be going through this. So just an update or a little history lesson here on our beginning. Senior Services has been helping seniors for over 30 years. We began in 1987 at the Buren Center in South Haven, really teeny tiny place. In 2010, our program grew to include almost all areas within Van Buren County. We developed 7 activity centers, including 2 main campuses, one in South Haven and the other in Paw Paw. Our remote sites include Bangor, Hartford, Grand Junction, Decatur, and Global. And in 2013, we outgrew our space at the Warren Center in South Haven and moved to the annex building at the First Baptist Church in South Haven. A few years later, our Paw Paw site expanded as well. We relocated to the Lions Club for several years and then to Freshwater Church. During this time of growth, we continued to develop our programming, which includes care coordination. And that's what Sharon was talking about with the care coordination programs that she's involved in. For the homebound seniors, ramp building, in-home care, pickleball, dances, our home-cooked meal program, trips, and more. And by the end of 2015, we had more than 11,000 seniors in our database. In 2010, we received a federal grant for our Retired and Senior Volunteer Program, commonly called the RSVP program. Over the past 12 years, we have recruited over 250 senior helpers from Van Buren County. The program uses the skills of the senior volunteers to help other seniors. Our volunteers provide medical transportation, food trucks and commodity distribution, handicap ramps, minor home repairs, free tax preparation, math counseling, educational program, lending closet repairs, senior center assistance, exercise instruction, partner agency helpers, senior assistance, friendly callers, support groups, and much more. So that means that without our volunteers, we wouldn't be able to operate. It's amazing what they do. In 2018, an opportunity presented itself. The Merck family offered to donate $2.1 million toward a new senior center at the Old Village Market grocery store in South Haven. They had built the store only 15 years prior. The purchase price for the senior services was $400,000 of the $2.5 million appraised value. Senior Services of Van Buren County Board decided to take the risk and purchase and renovate the facility to become our new home base for the entire county. Numerous people were on the building committee, included volunteers, senior board members, township officials, lots of people with lots of expertise. We're very blessed with everybody's knowledge. The vision, not only an activity center, but also a senior city one-stop village where seniors could get most of their needs met
We chose to add a salon and day spa at one end of the building and extended our contract with more pharmacy at the other end. These two businesses would complement our center and make life easier for our seniors. These two anchor rentals will not only support our building expenses, but will also serve our seniors in a very important way. The rentals pay for our monthly utility costs. So everything that if you haven't visited us in South Haven, the center is beautiful. We welcome you anytime, and it's designed for seniors. One of the most exciting features of the new facility is a 25 by 12 foot mural wall, and that was commissioned by the artist Kayla Wyzinski to represent all our funding areas. It is an amazing wall. And then during COVID, this is the important part, what was going on with senior services during COVID? Everyone was affected by COVID in different ways. When senior services closed our activity centers, we did not stop working. We just adjusted what we did for our seniors. We called seniors and asked what their needs were and how could we best serve them. Their concerns included food security and being vaccinated. We went to work and addressed their needs in a big way. We were awarded Area Agency on Aging's 2021 Community Service Award for how we adapted to the pandemic while continuing to give impeccable service. Some ways we address senior needs. We work closely with the Department of Health and Human Services and help to set up clinics throughout Van Buren County. We used our extensive database and started calling seniors and signing them up online for their appointments. If they were unable to drive themselves, we helped get a ride. Many of our seniors were homebound, so we again met with Department of Health and Human Services and developed a program for volunteer nurses to go to homes and administer the vaccine. Our staff helped to vaccinating over 3,200 seniors throughout the pandemic. We began home-delivered meals to subsidize Meals on Wheels and delivered 20,145 meals to seniors throughout Van Buren County. We sponsored 22 food trucks feeding up to 2,200 families in your communities and continue to distribute and deliver commodities as well. We offered drive-through meals and distributed 9,272 at our South Haven, Pawpaw, and Hartford sites. Volunteers completed 19 handicap ramps for seniors in Van Buren County, and volunteers prepared 781 free tax returns during COVID. The new building in South Haven, the original mortgage, $400,000, renovation budget, $2,700,000 for a total of $3,100,000. Our goal has always been to fundraise the cost of renovations and use the millage dollars for programming. Building appraisal, when we acquired it, was $2,500,000. Our purchase price, $400,000 again, with $2,100,000 being donated by the Burke family. We began our 3-year capital campaign in September 21 by targeting the greater South Haven area, and within 5 months we have received donations and pledges totaling over $900,000, close to $1 million now. So Columbia Township, activity, total unduplicated seniors attending activities was 111, and this is 2018 through 2021, and this is during COVID. So these numbers are going to be small than what they had been previously, and hopefully they're going to be much, much larger in the future. Total hours of activities participated in, 2,248.25. Total times those seniors participated in those activities, 1,741. Care coordination, total unduplicated seniors who received care, 153. Total times those seniors received care, 875. Total hours for care coordination, 1,011. And seniors we coordinated with for the COVID vaccine throughout Van Buren County, 3,212. So right now in Columbia Township, we have one time a month, the activity center at the church is open and services provided by senior services. And Diane wanted me to let you know that it is expanding immediately to 2 times per month. So we're adding another day. And so, what can you do to help the seniors in your area? And Senior Services has a 7-year plan that includes expanding services in the township. We're requesting an 8-year 1 mil millage be placed on the August ballot. This will secure our plan to accomplish expanding services to all supporting townships by adding much-needed additions to our programming and make Van Buren County a leader in senior programs in the state of Michigan. Currently, there are 15 areas in the state with a millage of 8 years or longer, and 9 of those are 1 mil or higher. Not only will it strengthen our economy through the hiring of more staff to service the 15,000 and growing senior population, but it will also be a prime location for people to retire to. So please consider allowing your community to decide if they would like to be part of this exciting project. I was telling Supervisor before the meeting that I like following schools when I give a presentation or talk about the senior village, because we were all those kids that were serviced in the school setting, but look where we are. A lot of us are today. We're in the senior population, and we need to be having services. We need to be out and socializing with people in a safe place, and we also are, a lot of seniors are homebound, and they don't know who to call. So I like to implore that you are the eyes and ears of your community, and if you know of anybody that needs services, let us know about it so we can reach out and get them the service they need. But, so again, we're asking for 1 mil to be placed on the ballot for the community to make the decision about increasing services for Van Buren County Senior Services.
Would you like to take any questions from the public?
Sure, I'm open to that, and I hope, if I can't, I want you to know if I can't answer them, that I will pass them on to Diane Ragosi, who is the director, and she will get back to you immediately. There's no problem with that.
Okay, I have a few questions.
Sure.
The 111 that were in Columbia Township that were held from 18, there were 2 years before COVID. So is that 111 like from 2018 to 2021? The village we pay, is that for that time period for the 111 people?
That's what's presented there, 111 attending activities.
So they have to go to South Haven?
To your activity center, here.
Which is in this building?
In the church.
Church.
At the church.
At the church.
Over here?
Yeah, first.
Okay.
First.
It says on your website, all of that's not open. Is it open or not open?
Everything's open.
Well, your website says reopening to be determined, so that's why I was like, is it open or not?
This Thursday is pre-determined. We'll have our first one in a long time now.
Okay, so it's not open until this Thursday, it's gonna be the first one, okay. And then the
Aiming
meal.
to, we normally, before pandemic, had about 20 people every time.
So they didn't have to go to South Haven or pop up, okay. And then my other thing was, I had actually called on the meal, because the meal schedule here is, well, now it's March. And here, and I asked, could somebody call me, because I know people that are shut-ins, and I was trying to get them food. And I didn't get a call back, and that was in November, but this is up to March. Is there any way they could keep that more up to date for our seniors? So they know when they can get food on this website?
Sure.
Okay.
If I could have your name and
Mary Phelps. And I'll give you my phone number if they want to call me.
Yeah, that'd be great.
364-1318.
1318.
Okay. We just have so many shut-ins, and for them to have to go anywhere is sometimes hard. And during COVID, we saw a huge need.
Right.
Right, and we were trying to drop off packages of food and things, and I was trying to coordinate that, and I couldn't.
Yeah, and people were calling all the time and getting through, and we were delivering.
Well, I talked to them, and they said they'd call me back, and I didn't get a call back.
Okay, and I apologize for that.
That's okay.
That shouldn't happen. Are you with Columbia? Are you in Columbia?
I'm in Columbia Township.
Okay.
Yeah.
Dick Curtis is a board member also.
Okay.
And don't.
I just want to make sure the mills that we're paying as a community is going to service our our residents also, not just people that can get to the bigger.
Oh, no, and that's what I want to say, we need to know who the shut-ins are, who needs the service, because there's a lot that we can offer. And if we can't do it, we can refer on to like Area Agency on Aging, which is a much bigger group, and that's,
Well, thank you, I appreciate that.
no problem.
And during the pandemic, we delivered like 19 or 20,000 meals, home delivered.
Yeah, we were working for the food trucks and stuff, and they were like, well, we just got food, and it was just really hard to get all the information, but now that I know it's you.
Do you know when, I don't have the list of food trucks, do you know when the last food truck was here? I know it's been to Grand Junction.
Last Thursday, wasn't it?
Was it?
Wait, are you talking about commodities?
Yeah.
No, food, yeah, well, it's, Feeding America, the Feeding America.
We've never had it.
No,
It's never
we've
been.
not had it since
Never been
before
here.
COVID.
Okay.
They had it at the church.
Okay, but in Grand, okay.
Yeah.
All right, okay.
So that was, when was that? Because I don't,
It was before COVID.
long before.
Yeah.
Yeah, but all of that was shut down.
So I mean, even long before COVID, because I don't remember ever.
We've only had one food truck that I can remember in
No,
Grand Junction.
we've had 3 in Grand Junction.
Really?
During COVID, I did a food truck at Waverly.
We didn't have any here, I can tell you that.
Yeah, well, they were part of it, they were.
Kathy, do they park those at the church typically? First Congregational Church? Yeah.
So I have a question. Are you gonna vote, take a vote today about the millage?
We normally have to take a first read before we vote on anything.
Okay, and just so you know, the deadline it has to be to the courthouse is before the 10th. And I was supposed to come last month, or Diane was, but, and I apologize that somehow I thought it was Monday was your meeting. I looked at the wrong Columbia Township, that's my fault, my bad, so I apologize for that. So,
Yeah.
that's why I wasn't here last month.
I didn't see the proposed resolution until Thursday last week. That's the first time I saw it. So it's not even in our it's not even in a resolution format at this point. So I'm not sure that we'll be able to approve it tonight.
Okay. So could it be done before, then it won't be on the ballot? I apologize for that,
we're gonna have to discuss it when we get to that point in the agenda.
Okay. Thank you, I appreciate it.
Any board member want to talk about their report? Gary? Rhonda? Christie? Okay, I'll give anyone else that's on our reports last chance. Going once? Twice? We're going to move to unfinished business. H1 is employee management discussion to draft employee monitoring and evaluation process. There's more documents that are there? Christie, you want to?
I'm actually going to propose that we postpone. We've already had started out pretty lengthy, and this is supposed to be a discussion so that we can provide feedback. Maybe to speed this along, if everyone could look at the different examples and provide some of their own ideas, and I could throw together a draft before our next meeting. So I would like to actually move to postpone until May.
Second.
Christie made a motion, Rhonda made a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. H1 was postponed. H2, the assessing department. We got Columbia Township Public Records Search, Assessor Resolution, the MTA Online Learning Center, and the March 29th amendment to Assessor's employment agreement, and assessing reforms for better accountability. Trustee, you wanna?
Yeah, so most of this, actually all of this stuff was in last month's, packet, with the idea that maybe we could discuss it in more detail this month. There are several issues in the, updated law, and that was why the, assessor amendment needed to be completed. If you see, I summarized the amendments to include, the periodic documentation, for continued substantial compliance with PA 660 of 2018, the performance standards in accordance with board monitoring and evaluation schedule, which we're just postponing until next month. And so that if we do, agree to make this amendment tonight, obviously there won't be a big impact until we're done with the monitoring and evaluation schedule. The substantial compliance with PA 660 of 2018 performance standards is a condition of the assessor's employment that's required to be in there now. And then there was just a space or something that was weird with that last one, performs other tasks as requested by the Township Supervisor. Then we have the reaffirmation in there. So those are the items that I would propose that we, I don't know if that's mine, what that is, but it's driving me crazy. Probably bad sign? Oh, no, I have it turned off. Maybe you can turn that one off though for now. If it will turn off, it always just makes it.
This was through Public Act 660, right? With Snyder back in 2018?
Yes.
So it's just taking into account now, or they're just implementing it? Is that?
It should have been implemented before. When I actually stumbled on this when I was in that, there was a conference that we attended and found this information and realized that that the township back in 2018 had not taken the action that they should have. So. I'm not sure that's what it is, actually.
So under line 15, it says the assessor should periodically document continued substantial compliance.
That took care of it.
Turn that mic on. Is it? Okay.
No, it's not working.
It's working. It's just that other one is it's been not, I just unplugged the other one. Okay.
I can yell.
It should be picking things up. Oh,
Yeah,
it's working now.
It's
Okay.
on now. What's meant by periodically documenting? I mean, what's the period?
Well, that's why we have to work on the board monitoring and evaluation schedule, that
Okay.
piece that we just postponed, because that's what it'll refer to.
Right, okay. Okay.
So what do you want to do with these documents? You want to approve the changes
amendment.
to the contract only on this?
I would like to approve the changes of contract, and then I would like to actually discuss the BSNA contract as well.
Well, why don't we talk about the BSNA first? We'll get that
Okay.
up and go through it.
So one of the other requirements is that we have to have certain amounts of information on the website now. And one way that we can do that is by offering this online tool. There is no cost to us to have this placed online if we choose to go with the pay per hit option, which a lot of area municipalities are using. This would require someone to pay a minimal fee to obtain the record, between $1 to $3, depending on what they're looking at. And then we wouldn't have to pay any additional fees above and beyond that. The other option is that we can choose to pay for it. I'm not sure that we would have, in my opinion, we will not have enough use of the tool to warrant a $3,000 service fee. So I like the pay per hit
option.
Well, especially when this information is gonna be, accessible at the county level as well.
It's not. Assessing is not accessible at the county level. There are certain amounts of this that are available on the tax side, but the full assessing information is not.
When you say full assessing information, what does that encompass?
I'm gonna let Mary answer that, because she knows it way better than I do.
Property card, so,
Correct?
so I pay, if I'm in one of the pay ones, I'll pay $2 or $3, if the homeowner doesn't pay anything to look at their card. But as a realtor, I'll go in, I'll pay the $2, and then I can get all the information, square footage, it's less than $3.
Yeah, they're,
Less than $3.
yep.
And it's well worth it, so I would definitely have people pay as they go, because it is free to the home, owner, but if anyone else wants to look at it, then they pay.
Sure, okay, thank you. Yeah.
And we will, be opting for not having real-time updates, obviously for internet purposes. And we'll probably have to post something on our site, because we are using the cloud system through the county. We only update our database here roughly once a month. We may have to increase that to twice a month, so it won't be real-time data per se. It'll get updated on that schedule.
You're proposing that we approve this for the pay-to-play, right?
Yes, they call it the pay-per-hit option.
Pay per hit, yeah.
Pay-per-hit option.
Yes.
Are you making that a motion?
Sure, I'll make a motion that we approve BSNA's proposal for the pay-per-hit option for assessing.
Christie's made a motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Gary seconded. This is no money from us, right?
That is correct, no money.
We can do this by just a vote.
Free is good.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Hey,
Rhonda's aye, Ken's aye, and Christie's aye.
Mm-hmm.
Passed unanimously. One absent. What's the other thing you want to pick out of this? The contract,
That was the
right?
contract, yep. Those couple of minor amendments.
Amending the Center Employment Agreement, right?
Mm-hmm.
Nope, that ain't well.
Mm-hmm.
Township Assessor position description? Is that what you're changing?
Where it says March 29th, 2022. That says exactly what the change is.
Okay, that's up there. And what are you changing?
Those are the changes.
Agreement is basically, the assessor shall periodically document and continue substantial compliance with PA 660 2018 performance standards.
Mm-hmm.
And board monitoring and evaluation schedule. Are you making a motion that we approve that?
You're gonna make me make all the motions tonight?
Yeah, well, you're bringing it up.
Sure, I'll make a motion that we, amend the assessor agreement as presented.
That's not a money thing either, is it? You want a roll
No.
call on that, though? Such as contract?
Yep, but you need a second first.
Yeah, Christie's made a motion, we need a second.
I'll second it.
Gary made a second. Roll call vote, Gary?
Yes.
Rhonda?
Yes.
Ken's a yes. Christie?
Yes.
Yes, and Bev is absent. Is there anything else on H2 that you wanted to talk about?
I only have, one question about, amending the contract now. Is that gonna supersede the current contract that's in existence?
It's it's an addendum.
It's just an amendment?
Yep. It's an addendum, yep. I did want to point out, one of the things that is part of that law is that
required to to become trained enough to understand assessing so that you can properly monitor the assessor. So there is a course available online through MTA. I believe that it is free for us, but if it is not, please let me know to register you.
It's a two-part series, I think, and has
Yes.
4 credits with it.
That's correct.
You need to register us? Might as well register me. Okay, we done with H2? Moving on to H3. Zoning administration. Zoning solutions contract. We don't have that on here to prove tonight? Did we take that off?
Yeah.
Okay. Here's what's going on with zoning solutions. They have an
Indemnification problem.
indemnification clause in it that, we have that they do not like. And what I'd like to do is, work that out with them. I think what we're gonna do is have the township attorney talk with Beth and try to come to, an understanding and agreement.
I would suggest have our attorney talk with their attorney.
I'm not sure they have attorney.
They do.
They do?
Oh,
They do.
Then we'll have her contact Beth to find the attorney's name and have a discussion, try to work that out.
A very good attorney.
So I will work on that tomorrow. A liaison to, zoning solution, we've had a few discussions. We talked with zoning solutions about having a liaison here for when somebody comes to our township to get a, zoning, application, that we'd have a liaison here that would take the document, would walk through it and check for being complete, and then make sure that they got all the information, then collect the fee, provide that to the treasurer, and then send the application on to zoning solutions. Zoning solution has an issue, they would contact the liaison and try to get the information that they need through the liaison to be able to, finish the application if there's something they need. And basically, we would track it through the process with the building inspectors, electrical inspectors, and plumbing through a liaison. Liaison would also be at the disposal of zoning solutions to go out and to property check, drive by, take pictures, and, get information on how things are going with a project if requested. And we, as a township, would have that person also touring the township from time to time, looking for blight, dangerous buildings, and construction activities without permits. That's kind of what we're looking at for a liaison.
I would like to also add to that the liaison could perform clerical work for the planning commission.
Correct. And probably attend planning commission meetings when necessary to point out problems that they discover out there while they're doing their functions. Now, I don't know if we have any other discussion on that?
My personal opinion at this point, since we're still up in the air with the zoning administrator contract and position, rather than put another third layer on for possible confusion right now, my view would be, because we can add a liaison anytime we want to. My personal opinion would be, let's let the dust settle first. Let's get the things resolved with the zoning administrator and get that agreement done and finalize that, the contract of what their requirements are and what they're going to be doing for the township. It's my understanding they would not be objective to a liaison person.
That's correct.
However, at this point, I think we're putting another layer on the onion that we may have to peel off later, or may just cause some confusion, and I'd rather not do that right now.
I don't think we're ready to, however, since this is the next item on the agenda, I do want to draw attention to the fact that there is no one to handle this right now. And that is,
No one handling what?
any zoning permit stuff. I mean, Ken is doing what he can to do approvals, but we are so swamped with cemetery stuff right now. I cannot even tell you, the phones literally have been ringing off the hook. We've had 2 people on phones with funeral homes at the same time, almost constantly all week. So it has been really, really busy, and it has been hard to manage the permitting right now. So I just want to throw that out there. I'm not saying there's a solution. I'm not sure there is one right now, but it is a difficulty, to say the least.
I agree, it's a concern. I just don't want to put the horse before the cart, so to speak, before
Well,
we get things.
Gary, I hear you. I think we're muddying the water by
Yeah.
probably having someone there. I can continue doing this for another month, but next month we need to probably get somebody assigned to this.
I think that would be a prudent,
You making a motion to postpone H3 till next month? Is that what you're doing, Gary?
correct.
I have a motion from Gary to postpone H3. Got Rhonda the second. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Carried unanimously. Okay, here's the big one for tonight. Cemeteries. And I guess I'm gonna say that we have a problem. Our maps are a problem, our, recording and records are problems, and it's a problem. And we need to wrap our hands around it and do whatever we need to do to get it in shape. And, Christie and Ara and, Ruth are working very hard at trying to make the maps, try to put the names in where people have an actual title in the township hall showing where they're supposed to be. And, we seem to still have, a lot of outliers there that have to be fixed in some form or manner. In addition, the cemetery lot out here, we found out the lot sizes are too small, and now we need to resurvey to make sure that the lots that we sell in the future meet the minimum requirement of the state. So there's some issues in that area. I'm sure I missed some things. You're working heavily with it, so.
Well, I would like to, commend, the work done on the cemetery report for this month. There's some things in there that, need to be addressed for people that use our cemeteries and bury their loved ones there. And some of them is like the grass carpeting things and the tents and the chair covers and that sort of thing. So the report's very good. So I just want to throw that out.
And in all honesty, the report is not detailed enough. I'll be really honest.
It's only a first draft.
Well, it's enough to show the problem.
Yeah, it is. And, I cannot thank my husband and Mike enough for helping me get through the last couple weeks. I know it's been, it's way busier than we could have ever imagined.
Well, and also when you have the lots that are too narrow.
Yeah.
I mean.
Yeah. Yep, it's been a challenge, to say the least.
And we're not the only township in the basket. I mean, everybody's in the same.
Oh,
boat.
yeah, yeah.
But, it's a hard thing to take on.
Okay, we talked about the problem. We have a sexton contract.
And I did notice an error, in the contract just before we came in here that I, amended. And that was the fees, if you go all the way down to the bottom to the rates.
Yeah.
Yep. So I wanna make sure that those were correct. And, I'm sure you guys saw also that Mike, highly recommends that we get some crew in to assist with cleanup. I would like to schedule some volunteer cleanup days that we can organize as well, but I'd really love to get the jail crew out there to help him so that that can reduce some of our costs, but also get some things done a little quicker. The contract itself is, you'll notice, is very similar to the one for the zoning administrator. The base of the contract is, it's a standard contractor relationship contract, and then we just have the services adjusted appropriately for the cemetery sexton.
And what do you want us to do with this contract?
Oh, I would love to have it approved. Now, I do want to also point out that this contract is only for the sexton portion of the estimate, not mowing, which needs to happen fairly soon. So, the mowing for the hall and the fire station is also part of his estimate. Mowing of the cemeteries is included in this.
Well, the mowing and trimming is in here.
For the cemeteries.
Correct.
Yep. He did also provide in his estimate
The cemetery?
yes, that's for cemeteries. I'm talking about for the hall and the fire station.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Now, the only other thing is, as you pointed out, similar to the zoning administrator,
Mm-hmm.
the indemnification clause in here, section 9,
Mm-hmm.
that I think there could be some wording changes in there to make it more palatable, not only to us, but to the section. But we can talk about that later. It can always be amended a little bit or changed.
Okay. Mike, did you have I know I didn't send it directly to you, but did you have a chance to like hop online and see the contract at all? Yeah, I really did. Did you have any concerns? I will say that as, you know, I own my own business for many years, and this indemnification clause to me is typical. So.
Yeah, I looked at it today too, and it's nothing wrong with the way it's written. It could be written even longer and bigger and more restrictive. Can I get a motion to approve the contract for the cemetery sexton agreement and approve Mike Douglas as our sexton?
We do need to just.
I don't know if we, again, I only saw one publication for the sexton.
I did receive contact from several people, asking about it, and they said that the problem was they didn't want to provide their own equipment. And we don't have equipment, so that's an issue.
Well, the issue before was we would rent it. 'Cause it's
I
cheaper
didn't know
than-
that. I just assumed
We
that.
talked about that at the meeting, remember?
Well, I asked about us obtaining our own equipment. You said it was cheaper to rent, but my understanding was we were requesting a contractor, so that would be.
Proving the contract, I don't have a problem with that, but I think we ought to at least run a couple more publications for, people, and if you don't get them, fine, you don't get them.
I am just, I can't.
Do you have the names of the people that
I
contacted?
mean,
No.
Mike has already, said that he would help out and he would be an interim.
Yeah, interim for what we need for emergencies, and this is my problem. I am beyond the need for emergency support. I cannot handle another month like this. I'm just gonna be completely honest. And the reason why the posting didn't go out late was because I had asked someone else to support me in that, and they did not exactly do what was stated. And I was trying to manage everything, and I can't. So, I'm just being really honest. I'm at that point.
Hey, I stand by my statement.
Well, I'll ask again, can I get a motion to, approve the, section contract?
So moved.
Let's get that one done first. Can I get the section contract approved?
Gary just moved.
Gary moved. Rhonda second. And that's a contract, so roll call vote. Gary?
Yep.
Yes.
Rhonda?
Yes.
Ken? Yes. Christie?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, we took care of that. Can I get a motion to, designate, Mike Douglas for, cemetery section?
Sure, I'll move to designate Mike Douglas as cemetery
Christie
section.
makes a motion. Can I get a second? I'm gonna make the second. Ken second it. Roll call vote. Gary?
No.
Christie?
Yes.
Rhonda?
Okay, hold on. Go ahead, finish your vote.
Ken's gonna go yes. It's over, it's due, but, it failed for lack of,
But I
support.
don't understand, how do we just approved the contract, so what does that mean?
The
Means we have a
contract is approved
contract.
for anyone to use.
But it has all, I'm confused.
It's for anyone can use it.
But it's all based on his estimate.
That's correct. But anyone can use it. We got the contract language down. We can always change that.
Yeah, contract
We
can
moved it as far forward as we can.
can be filled with anybody.
Is there anything that we can do to help Christie with us at this moment in time? What would be agreeable to get some relief for Christie with the, sexton's position and being the cemetery, updates? I mean, the phone is ringing off the wall down here.
Well, if you need somebody to walk the cemetery or help map or something,
No, that's not what I need. I need somebody to do cemetery cleanup. I need somebody to organize maintenance. I need somebody to answer phone calls. I need somebody to organize the data. All of these things that are in this report, it all needs to be done, and it can't wait. I have people that want to be cremated with all these supports. They want their cremation burial in 3 weeks with all this support. I need somebody to purchase all of this stuff. I need some support, period, with everything.
if you're looking for somebody to answer phones and talk to people, stuff like that, I'll be happy to volunteer. I'll come down here and sit whenever it's convenient, whenever the hall's open. I'll come down on Saturday mornings. I don't have a problem with that at all. People will just have to understand, and you can convey this to them in a pleasant way, especially during their hardship, that there are certain things that we can provide at this time, and there's certain things that we just are not able to, and we'll have to work around it. It's like anything else.
So what are we gonna do, run one ad and see what happens?
I'll tell you what's gonna happen. What's gonna happen is the same thing that happened when I ran it this time. But sure, I'll run it 2 more weeks. Although I just told them that it wasn't necessary, but I will call her back and tell her to run it 2 more weeks. But that does not solve my problem.
Someone from temp service, would that solve your problem? Temporary service? If Mike Douglas came in and became the sexton and started taking all these phone calls and that, would that serve the purpose?
I don't need him to take the phone calls. What I need him to be able to do is manage all the maintenance and get the cleanup started and organize all of that stuff. All of the stuff that's in the cemetery. The things that are not emergency-based, because in an interim situation.
Do you have a problem with him, intermittently taking care of all that?
No, I don't have a problem. I told you just a minute ago I'd be willing to help.
Okay, Mike, are you, willing to be our interim helper and get all this coordinated and taken care of?
Okay, hold on. He's the interim. What are we paying? How are we paying him?
Right. He's already, Mike, unless I'm misunderstanding here, you already agreed to be the interim sexton until we could establish a permanent person, correct?
With the burial.
And what rates are you charging, or what's in the
What
agreement?
was in his original estimate for the burial?
And you're still good with those rates? Yeah, you're willing to do what you've been doing for us, in an interim position for another month?
My question is, when the grant starts growing next week,
What's that?
How are we gonna get things mowed if we're doing emergency only casket burial, cremation? If the original agreement was he was doing burials because they had to be done without a contract.
So you have somebody come in and mow.
Well, you'd want bids for that too, or could we interimly just have Mike take care of that?
Well, that's up to Mike.
Mike, you wanna interimly mow the lawns in the cemetery?
Well, we might as well hire him.
That's what I'm saying.
Well, we're gonna have to rely on Mike, that's kinda what I'm seeing.
Well, I think this probably should be a one-on-one, discussion, and, we should move on with the other, items on the agenda.
Well, we need to have some direction given to me to be able to, communicate with Mike what he can and can't do, and what values you're gonna give me to, work with to be able to get it done.
Well, if you wanna set up a meeting, I'll be happy to attend the meeting and do what I can help.
We need to know how much money we can spend. How much money can I spend over the next month until we assign a sexton to take care of the cemeteries? That has to be a motion.
What's in the budget for the, cemeteries? Yeah.
That's why people don't wanna work for us.
In Exhibit B of the rates here, you've got mowing and trimming of all cemeteries, you've got an amount in there already.
You're asking for an interim position, we have to have a budget for the interim.
What's in the budget for the cemeteries?
That's what I'm looking for.
Okay.
Cemetery section salary budget is $32,000.
Okay, and, mowing and trimming of all the cemeteries is $1,490. So if you wanna have all the cemeteries trimmed and mowed, it would cost $490 according to these figures.
That's per mowing.
That's per mowing.
I know that, I know that.
Okay.
So
That's per mowing.
you're talking 3,000 there for probably a month,
Yep.
and you're talking,
I don't know how many burials.
12 goes into the $32,000, right?
Yeah.
Where do you get the 30, what was it you said?
3,000.
Three mows?
For two mowing.
Yeah.
Are you gonna need 2 mowings within the next month?
Who knows?
Well, okay.
I don't know that. I don't know how many burials I'm gonna need either. We thought we were gonna get maybe, a couple a month, and we got 5 in 7 days. So, I don't know.
Okay. So you need a motion for, money to be spent for mowing? Is that what you're asking for?
No, you
We
want to
also
hire
have-
an interim sexton for a month. I need a budget for that interim sexton.
Okay, and the amount for the budget for the cemeteries is what, 32 something?
$32,000.
Okay. Then I would move that we allow $3,000 for the next month.
That doesn't even cover,
It's like you said, we don't know.
Well,
If you divide the 32,000 by 12, that's around $2,600 a month.
well, you probably gonna have some burials in there, you're gonna have to,
yeah, and we just spent almost $3,000 in burials in a week.
Again, it's up in the air. You don't know what you're gonna have. You may not.
That's correct. So what do you want to do? Come back to the table when I run out of the 3,000? You want me to call a special meeting?
Well, you may not run out of 3,000.
I can't anymore.
I know, just
What? Well, let's make it 5 then.
let's make it 7,500 and
I want
move on to the
revisit.
next item.
I want to revisit the sexton position.
I'm open to revisiting it, but I think we got, 2 no's. I don't think they're gonna change their mind. Either one of you willing to reconsider?
I think what we might wanna do is do what you just said. Do $7,500 and then,
Well, I do know Geneva's without sexton here.
Yeah.
So,
And Arlington, and yep.
that's what I would suggest.
so it's not gonna make it.
Gary, you're making a motion for 75,000, 70, one second.
$7,500.
Rhonda.
Go ahead, Rhonda.
Well, if we're gonna use him anyway, and he's been doing the work, I don't know. Cause it's just, I don't think it's gonna change if you run an ad and people have called, but they don't wanna supply their own equipment. Does he have his own equipment?
Mm-hmm. Let me think if I want wanna say that I don't really wanna say.
I don't want you saying them either.
I'm not really trying to be a jerk about this. What I'm trying to do, and it's been said here by supervisor, I don't know how many times, if you want the best board to be the best board we've been, then we follow procedure. That's simple.
Of which there isn't.
Pardon me?
Again, this is another point where you're bringing up a procedure that doesn't exist.
Well, yeah, it's called advertisement. It's called doing what the public would expect you to do, I would think.
So, this is the problem, is there are multiple people involved that are getting punished because someone did not follow through on something. And it is frustrating, not just to me, but to several of our employees and our potential contractors. It is not good for making relationships between the board and the people that are trying to help us. In general, yes, I think we should post it for more weeks. Absolutely. However, sometimes circumstances exist that cause problems with this. And in this particular instance, it has been well known that we are looking for a sexton. In fact, Jeff reached out to multiple people that he thought might be interested, and they were not. This has been advertised word of mouth for sure a lot, and anybody who's ever done any advertising knows word of mouth is one of the best ways to go. So, in my opinion, it has been advertised a lot, just not in the dang reminder for 3 weeks.
Okay, well, now I guess we, have to find out what, the people think here on the board.
Well, I can ask, can I get a motion to approve Mike Douglas as our sexton?
Well, we've already had a motion.
We already had a motion.
And
Does anyone wanna have it again?
then you'll have to rescind.
We'd have
The
to
first
rescind,
motion.
but first I gotta know that we're gonna be successful in doing it, otherwise we'll just move on.
Well, I'll move to rescind the first motion.
I have a second? Rhonda seconds it. We have rescinded the first motion.
Well, we need to vote on that, but it has to be a roll call.
Roll call vote. Gary?
No.
Rhonda?
Yes.
Ken, yes.
Yes.
Christie, yes. Now can I get a motion to appoint Mike Douglas as our sexton?
I'll make that motion.
Christie made the motion. Could I get a second? Rhonda seconds. Roll call vote. Gary?
No.
Rhonda?
Yes.
Ken, yes.
Yes.
Christie, yes. It's carried. Just so everyone knows, we do sometimes get into a real nice discussion up here. We're all friends up here. Don't think that we're not. I appreciate everything Gary said. We should be advertising more and getting more bids in that. Sometimes we can't. Mike, congratulations. I would like to sit and talk to you sometime and get the agreement signed, but I also got the jail crew that's looking for some dates to help you. So we'll set that all up, and I might be able to get a couple other volunteers to get into the cemetery with that. The next one's the transfer station well and signs. They're scheduled to go up next Saturday. this Saturday, we will be down driving a well at the Breedsville Cemetery. I'm gonna have 2 people helping me do that. I went over and looked at everything. I got the pipe in the back of my truck and all the, fittings to, do the driving. I wasn't gonna hook it up that day. I need to get the pump out of the, bottom of the shed. The shed is a disaster on the inside. It needs to be cleaned out. We'll probably do that at the same time and probably put a lock on the door. Mike, you've probably been in there, you know. That kinda goes with that. So, that's what's coming up. I don't think, unless anyone has any words of wisdom to me on H5 on the transfer station and the cemetery, we're moving forward with that. Any questions up here? H6 is land sale discussion. My first, point of, discussion is with Jephthah Lake. I did send out a letter to Mr. Cook, who has a piece of property that surrounds one of the properties that we have. And I'm sorry, I don't have a, thing besides Jephthah Lake up there. But, upper Jephthah Lake, we have a parcel of land that has about 150 feet of lake frontage. The land is very, swampy and, lowland. And a person by the name of Cook owns all the property around it. I approached him in a letter to, if he's interested in purchasing this property, and he has made an offer to the township for somewhere around $28,000, which was the minimum bid. I told him that we would set for it based on our assessor's true cash value, knowing that the land is landlocked and knowing that it is swampland. And he came back with a little bit over $28,000. I went to pull the title out on the property, and I was a little surprised because the property is still in my name. I used to own it back in 1981, but it's swampland. So to sell this to him, I am gonna have to sign over a quitclaim deed to the township for them to be able to sell it to Mr. Cook. And that's what I'm willing to do. So I haven't got the contract here to approve tonight, because I got to do some work to clean up the title, so you'll see that next month. So that's one of them. The second one we have is probably a little more desirable because you can actually, access it. Let me rephrase that. One property only could actually access it, and one property owner has put a building on it. It's got a sandy beach. It's, 2.4 acres, and it's got 350 feet of lake frontage. Now, this property owner does not surround it. So there's actually 3 people that could have this property, and I'm going to propose this property to the 3 people. One of them's gonna be Mr. Cook again, which is the one that I have to do the work on. And I just wanted the board to know where I'm at on this. I'm getting close, but I think we're gonna get $28,000 for the one, and the other one is gonna be up closer to the 60,000 mark. And it's probably gonna go to the person behind it. I'm gonna have to make a decision who gets the bid on it. Cook has already got one. I think this guy and the other neighboring property owner might have some might be interested in it. And that other property owner also might be Cook.
Well,
So,
this other parcel you're talking about, besides the one that Cook, is that 003?
that's, 003-10.
Right.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's the little one that we have that has all the lake frontage on it.
Yeah.
So I'm working on that, and I'm still going by the rule of thumb that the assessor has given me for the 80% of true cash value. Since it's a wetland, she's knocking off 50% of the value. This one's a little bit better because it's not all wetland. The other ones that I have on there, on 51st and a half Street, we have a 75-foot, strip of land that goes back about 1,000 feet. Our zoning ordinance requires that we have 100-foot of road frontage, but this is a plotted lot that already exists, so it'd be grandfathered at the 75. And I'm gonna have the assessor go ahead and give me the true cash value of that, and we're going to list that on our website at 80% of the true cash value like we normally do, what we've approved previously. There's a, parcel also on, 15th Avenue, it's on a corner lot, it's at 5459, and we'll be doing the assessor's 80% of true cash value on that one. And then I have two lots on 2nd Avenue, it's a gravel road. One of the lots has a bunch of trash on it from the neighbor more than likely, and the other one's a clear lot, they're about, an acre and a half. And the assessor has given me a price on them, and I'm gonna take 80% of that, and we'll put that on the website. I don't plan on having those ready until I check to see who has the title. I'm right now using the Van Buren County website, and I'm finding that doesn't necessarily, when it says Columbia Township owns it, that they actually own it. So I'm gonna have to verify who's got the title on it through the county before I do that.
On the one that has only the 75-foot, whoever buys that, if it's adjacent owner, then they're not gonna need a,
Easement?
no, that's what I can't think of it now. It escapes
A
me.
variance for the 100 foot.
Yeah, the variance, yeah.
But they don't need a variance now because it's a plotted lot.
Okay.
It's like a grandfather thing.
All right.
But it's a rough thing, but it does go back to a pond way in the back, or at least there's water when I went back in there. So I'm working on that. And you're up to date where I'm at, back on that again. So now we're gonna go into new business, which is the fee schedule.
Mm-hmm. So, it probably will need to be addressed again, but I wanted to update it now because of the cemetery section. I don't want us to be losing more money. So, the majority of the updates are in the cemeteries area. The, other one is I increased the zoning permit to the $60. We had talked at one point about that being kind of a baseline for area.
So you're telling me that the weekday casket opening increased?
Yes.
It went from what to what? Do you know?
Well, that's really funny that you asked that, because our fee schedule said one thing, and I found out that they were getting billed something different.
Oh.
So, it depends on who you ask.
Tasha was billing somebody different?
The casket openings.
Oh, Casco.
Yeah. Are we in the line with other people, I guess? Maybe that's a better question to ask for the cost on these.
That's my understanding.
That we're in that, we find out differently, we can make changes if we need to.
Absolutely.
And the only other thing, so up on the top part,
I added the winter casket opening, because we did not have a winter one. That was
snow plowing and all that other that goes with it.
Well, that is specifically like and it says in the guidelines in the contract that when the frost gets to be 6 inches or deeper, that we do the winter casket opening. We won't do cremation openings when the frost is 6 inches or deeper. So that's the change there. It's just, it takes a lot more time. I did not, the Babyland stuff, I increased some of it slightly, but not nearly as much as I increased the others. I was struggling with how to do that. Oh,
Did you add a return check fee, or has that always been on there?
That's always been on there. Oh, the one other thing I added was a commercial demolition permit. This actually came up one day. So I separated residential and commercial so that we had one available. I know we're probably not gonna do very many of them, but I'd rather be prepared.
Okay. Any more questions on this?
Can you see it?
No. It's just come up. Mine is. I mean, I can see it. It won't come up over here.
All it does is slide.
Yeah. No, thanks.
You guys having fun out there?
I keep wanting to do it with my pencil.
I know, it works better with your fingers.
Oh, actually, like.
All we got.
Oh, well, you have to share with Rhonda.
Shut him down, open him back up.
We did.
Thank you.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, the, headstone footing
Oh, you can
per
make it
square inch.
smaller, I can see.
No, I'm okay with all this.
Yeah.
I guess we just need someone to make a motion.
Mm-hmm.
We ready?
To accept the fee schedule?
Yeah. To approve the resolution to adopt the fee schedule.
Yeah. I'd move to approve, resolution for the fee schedule 2022 dash 015.
Can I get a second?
I second.
Rhonda, second. This is money, so, roll call vote, Gary?
Yes.
Rhonda?
Yes.
Ken, yes. Christie?
Yes.
Yes. Carried, have absence. We're gonna talk about the Township Hall property discussion, maintenance of the fields, fencing, clean up flowers and beautification. Just a discussion?
Yep.
What fencing are we talking about? The one in front here?
Yeah.
The wooden fence has gotta go, it's rotting out, so I'm gonna get the chain, when I get, I don't wanna call them chain, the sheriff's
jail
work
crew.
The chain.
We will take that out and, then we'll fill in the holes with dirt.
Yep.
Also, you know, he talked about, some of this deberming, that dirt.
Right.
Anyone have a problem on the board of me having that dumped over here in the lowland?
In that
and-
no, I think
and
that's,
flattening
no,
out?
that's fine.
Okay,
So what do we do? Just have
We're just,
crew come?
yeah, we're gonna hopefully have the jail crew come for a couple of things, including getting the fencing removed. We're trying to get some things done with the field.
we have a couple of baseball teams that want to come to the township this year again, and, we'd like to get some, blacktop soil and put in the infield and grow grass before they get.
We'll try.
So we're gonna get busy on that probably right away.
We've had some phone calls, both South Haven schools and Bloomingdale schools have called us in the recent past asking to use the field. But it's just not in great shape.
So, I guess that's that with that. Unless you guys have any questions about what we're up to.
Are you gonna do anything about, down by the Calhaven Trail and the cemetery? Is there gonna be a fence in there as well, maybe, or is it needed, or are you gonna just leave some wood line?
We're gonna leave a wood line there. We're going to start probably mowing that or brush chopping it every once in a while just to keep that stuff down and keep all the fallen trees down. I gotta get with the DNR to get permission to get in there again.
Right.
So, I will do that.
If anyone wants a big piece of concrete, there's a foundation laying over there that can go.
Where?
In the tree line over there.
Big piece of concrete?
Mm-hmm.
I'll haul it out of there. We don't need that over there. I guess that's it for the, hall property discussion. Millage expiration renewal discussion, senior services.
Now, this is not, let's be clear, this is not the one that's at the end, the resolution. Just to be clear. This is just a discussion point.
Oh. Or the senior services
Yeah.
knowledge.
Yeah. Well, at this point, that's what this one is. We have the other it's not really a resolution, but it's at the end, so. So, yeah.
Well, we have to decide if we're gonna put our senior service back on the ballot.
Right.
We got, what's the consensus on, your millage passing?
You mean across the county?
Yeah.
So we've had,
What, are you telling me that each township has,
we have to go to each township and each
Each township has to approve it. If our township denies it, then we're,
Then you're just out.
so we would probably hurt yours if we go in with a smaller millage with your bigger millage.
No,
You don't think so?
I don't,
So you're gonna do your own senior services?
We already do our own and we give you the money.
So this, no, what happened before is, it's the same thing that's happening now, we're just renewing, but we're doing an increase. So, currently you're paying .50.
Yeah, but we have two millages to do that.
yes.
One is ours and one is yours.
One of them is the county's,
Well,
and one of it's ours.
No,
yeah.
no,
Yes.
none of them's the county.
Oh, yes, it is.
Yes, it is.
Oh, yes, it is.
Yes.
You're on the county commission, is there any county?
No, not the program, the millage.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yes,
so you have two, and
yes.
you keep one and you give us one?
No.
Okay, I'm confused.
We have two, they're a quarter mil each.
Right.
One of them is managed by Columbia Township. One of them is managed by the county. Yes.
Yeah.
Well, it does go.
Well, it does
It
go
does,
to-
the
yeah.
money does go to you,
But the county is collecting it.
but the,
Yeah.
yes.
Cause we're paying two villages.
You just
Yeah,
roll it right over.
yeah. So,
Yeah.
yes, yes. One of
Yeah.
them, in the verbiage, one of them states township is collecting money for senior services, and the other one says the county is collecting money for senior services.
Yeah.
We're just a,
I believe you,
we're just a conduit to give you the money.
Yes.
So the last millage that we had 4 years ago, there was a renewal for .25 for senior services, and there was an increase for .25. That made it the .50. And we had requested both of those ballots last. I guess I'm not sure how that funnels through the county, but, I know we've gotten that
Yes,
Yeah.
because
Cause we pay double. We
yeah,
pay double.
that's correct.
So decided to do 5 mills and give it all to senior services, increase it by 2.5.
Yes, so a while back, Columbia Township had their own money that they used for senior services a long time ago. And that was the quarter mill, one of the quarter mill. So when my understanding, and I am not a historian here, okay? My understanding is that at some point, there was a request for those funds to go to senior services, and then that millage, our township one, was changed to be the quarter mill goes to you guys. But then there's also the countywide.
At which time, senior services actually came out and they used to have like weekly dinners. And, it was very active. They played, was that monthly? And they bingo, I mean, it was a big, ordeal here.
And we still do now we're actually increasing it. We do once a month meal at the church over there, and now we're increasing it twice.
Yeah, the church used to do their own thing over there with a spaghetti dinner. Is that what you that were doing that with them?
We're the ones that do that.
4 years ago, 5 years ago?
We've been doing it for a long time.
Oh, okay, excellent. I didn't know that.
They do something Wednesday nights, and that has nothing to do. This is just, we do bingo, we do health checks over there. We did it once a month for years, and we just increased it.
Okay. Back to the township board on these millages. Well, we're gonna have to do something for the police for sure. That's expires the end of this year. We wanna put that on the August ballot? That was a yes? I think we put it on the August, and then if it doesn't pass, we have an opportunity to get it on the November. Okay? I don't think we have to do anything with the roads at this point. I just remember for next year, we have to do something. That leaves senior services, what we do.
Well,
Are we gonna go for a quarter mil? Sure.
We're proposing tonight that you do the 1 mil as requested, for senior services advancement. And, if you choose to do something different than that, that would be on you guys to do. We are doing the 1 mil. I mean, that would be something that you would take back.
Well,
I know, but we're only
okay,
doing
well,
a half a mil.
here's my thought process right now. You're putting your one mil on the primary, right?
Correct.
And if something happens with that, we can do the 0.25 at the general. If you lose, are you gonna go on the general too?
If we lose certain areas, that's a board decision, and then we'll talk about that. If we're gonna go back to some of those areas that we lost in, and try and get back on, but, we're really trying hard to get on all the
Okay.
ballots.
We were just talking about that. You missed all of it, Mary. You were out chit-chatting. I'll fill you in later.
She's out there trying to sell property. So it sounds to me, that we don't do anything with senior services right now. Besides, we need to discuss the resolution for the millage ballot, because it looks like that needs to be approved tonight. So let's not do anything with the seniors. The police we need to do, and the road's gonna be next year.
If you don't do with seniors tonight, it won't be on the article.
I understand that.
Oh, okay.
That's why I said we gotta talk about that tonight. That's like almost a must. Or I see it as a must. It's really just like the cemeteries, you know?
No. We'll get you some volunteers.
Is there any more discussion on the millage? Anyone have a problem we not put the senior service on the primary and get the police on the primary? Gary does not, no comment. Discussion is done. We're gonna put the police on the ballot. And I think we'll have to bring the wording back at some time.
Yes, we have to approve wording.
Huh?
Yes, we'll have to approve wording.
Well, that's for the wording, so we don't need, gotta be done in May sometime, right?
That's what I'm thinking it's the same as theirs, yeah. Yeah.
We're too late, is that what you're telling me?
Unless we have a special meeting.
May 10th?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, we got November to put it on. Get ready for November.
Okay.
We'll talk about it. Maybe we'll have a special meeting. We'll think about this. I'll talk to Sheriff, see what they think. The hall old tables, we're starting to get new tables.
They're already here.
Huh?
They're here. They're here.
They're here. We're getting new tables, and the old tables, we want to dispose of them in some form and manner. And anyone got an idea what minimum price the board would want for a table? We sold them at the garage sale for what?
Like $20.
I'd say $10.
You say $10 are heavy, nobody wants them?
And some of them are not in good shape either.
No, so $10.
Yes, that's correct. Mm-hmm.
Well, I think we just set it at $10 and. You're outbidding me? Okay. That was almost too easy. 1.5 Special Assessment District Hardship Ordinance, first read. Anyone got any discussion on that at this point?
Is this like,
Oh,
this is a different, right?
this is because, when we were having the discussions with North Lake, we're talking about the special assessment one, right? Okay. When we were having the discussion with North Lake, somebody mentioned that there is a state law that allows you to do a hardship, they're not deferral. Well, yeah, it's a deferral, not a waiver, sorry. It's a deferral, not a waiver.
Okay.
But you have to adopt an ordinance in order to do that. So, because that was one of the things we discussed, I did have the attorney draw up the ordinance, for us to look at. But again, the important thing here is to remember that it's a deferral, not a waiver,
It's become a lien on their property, right?
Yes.
That's not a good thing.
It can become a lien on their property. It is based off of, poverty levels though, so.
Yeah, that's first read.
Yep.
We'll see that next month. ACH policy and resolution, first read.
Yeah.
Anyone have any comments or anything?
I talked to Rhonda a little bit before the meeting, and I think we're gonna, she and I are gonna sit down and
Massages?
massage it a little bit.
Yeah,
I like massages.
because the wording's not quite right for some of it.
Okay, well, Gary, you got any, concerns on what they do have here? They're gonna revise it, I guess.
No, I got a blank page, so.
Okay.
Anything.
That's first read, we can move right on to that. Now we're at the senior service resolution.
Which is not a resolution.
That's not a resolution, is
It's the
it?
millage ballot.
That's the
Millage
ballot.
ballot.
Language, yeah.
Do we have a resolution?
No.
Well, we need a resolution.
Mhm.
What date do we have to have this done?
May 10th.
It's gotta be to the county by
May 10th.
May
You
10th.
can vote on the now and then do the resolution. That's what a lot of them are doing.
I-
It can be done after the
Oh.
ballot. People are voting on the resolution.
I'm confused.
We vote on the resolution?
I thought we voted on a resolution to accept the ballot language. That's why I'm confused.
Yeah, I'm confused too.
None of the other ones I've been to a million of them, none of them have voted on the resolution. They're voting on whether or not to put the language, the ballot language on. And then they do the resolution and then they send that to me or to the county and file it.
Well, I guess we could do the resolution afterwards, provided the board understands.
But the county needs the resolution before May 10th.
By May 10th. But you guys vote on this and that's the basis of the resolution.
That's not, normally you just vote on the resolution and be done.
Okay.
So I'm just confused.
Okay. Did you guys do a resolution?
No, I didn't get this until Thursday, and I have been, very swamped with cemeteries. We don't wanna go there right now.
We don't reminisce back to where we've been.
Do the resolution, and then you send the ballot language in. So.
Yeah.
Oh, get the calendar out. You don't know how much I hate doing this.
Well, this ballot language is just for the ballot.
Correct. Yeah. It's just to place it on the ballot so the voters can decide.
But you have to have a resolution in order to put it on the ballot. So we have to have a resolution.
When would you guys like to have a special meeting?
Anytime, I don't care. Thursdays are not good for me.
Tuesdays?
Me either.
Chrissy, how long can we get the resolution put together? Pretty quick, right?
Tuesdays and Thursdays aren't good.
I don't think anyone of us here against putting this on the ballot?
On Tuesday.
Anyone against putting this on the ballot? I should probably ask that before.
If it's later in the day.
If it's four, is four late enough?
I think
Hold on.
so.
Okay. I currently have invited you and Rhonda to a public accuracy test on Tuesday at 4:00 next week.
Which is my mistake.
Well.
I gotta be here anyways?
And then I am doing training of election inspectors at 5:00, but we could have a special meeting at 6.
What date was that? What date was that?
The 26th.
We have a board of determination on the 4th. 26th, this is the 19th, just give us. What time on the 26th do you wanna meet?
I'm saying 6:00 because I can't do any earlier than that because I have a 4:00 commission
What's a
meeting.
better day for you?
No, that's fine because I'm already gonna be here. You're already gonna be here.
Why am I gonna be here on the 27th?
26th, you're gonna be here because you're going to be doing the public accuracy test.
No events.
I sent you an invite, so you need to accept it.
You didn't put it on my calendar. What time am I doing
Did you say Tuesday
that?
wasn't good for you? No.
Well, no,
At 6:00?
I'm not sure.
What time are we doing that?
I'll have to check.
Hold
I
on.
need to get it scheduled.
I check in with Rhonda really quick here. You don't know for sure.
Hang on.
What time am I doing that meeting?
That one's at 4.
And this is a special meeting for the resolution.
No. The one that's at 4.
No, at 6.
The
The
6th,
special meeting.
Yes.
That's,
Yeah, that
Ballot.
would be my goal, 'cause, yeah.
verification. My dog's gotta go pee.
And you're gonna make dinner for all of us, because we're gonna be here for,
Tonight?
no, Tuesday. the
Tuesday, I
26th.
gotta make dinner?
You gotta make dinner.
What do you want?
I don't know, food. Well, food.
Food. We want food.
Dinner. Tacos?
Sure, I don't care.
Quesadillas?
I'm gonna have all my election inspectors here too.
Oh, how many I gotta cook for?
No, we still got
No.
public comments yet.
You didn't miss nothing yet.
I'll tell you how many later.
I'll do
April
pizza or something.
26th, 6:00, special meeting. Is that good, Rhonda, or no?
I'm looking. Oh. They had me scheduled. 26?
Yes.
But they had me scheduled.
We're gonna have dinner at 5?
Sure. 5:30, somewhere in there.
4:30?
Sure, 4:30. Shouldn't take very long.
4:26. Oh, 1:45.
Oh, you should be good. Hey now.
Hey, they put everything in the email.
Okay. 26, 6:00.
4 PM till 7, got it.
Okay. I think that solves all of our
Okay,
items.
I think we're close to being done. Anything else?
Public comments.
Public comments. Anyone wanna make a public comment?
Mary does.
Mary, come on up, talk to the mic.
There's no mic, but I'll just talk. It seems like part of our issues are like not getting stuff on time from everybody. The only thing I was gonna ask about, like, the lake property tenant, what he was upset about was the man that I was talking to, is his property is adjacent to Second Avenue. And he was like, he can't, and I said, if you just make an appointment and come in and talk to him, he's very reasonable, you know, it'll be fine, he's gonna put a fence up so nobody can walk this property, and I said, it'll be fine, just talk to Ken.
Well, she got property next to it?
He said he's got, Little Bear.
Little Bear.
So,
I'm not on Little Bear, Second Avenue.
but that's up to his property, that he has like 70 acres on Little Bear.
Second Avenue is nowhere near that.
That's what he just said, that piece is by his property. So anyhow, I just told him to make an appointment and you would talk to him. You were reasonable. So fake it.
Me?
So
Yeah.
fake.
And then the other thing was on riparian rights. So when we did that survey, there were a lot of people that were like, is there a place where the community can go to a lake? You know, we don't have like we have some public access, but we don't really have a beach. And I know these places might not be like a beach, but with riparian rights, isn't there a way we could do an easement where people could put a dock and do some stuff out there? We could build like.
There's no way you can get out there, it's landlocked. There's no,
Yeah, but even if it's landlocked, the property in Michigan cannot be landlocked without.
well, you have to go to court and you have to get a, easement of necessity, and I'm not sure you're gonna get one for public use.
Okay.
From
We're
my
not
reading,
sure, but we don't know.
I mean, we can go buy somebody out with all of the domain, but I don't know if you'd want that property either.
I can tell you what easements are a pain in the royal room.
Yeah, I just did,
They get, I mean,
riparian right law today, so I think I'm just a know-it-all right now.
Just now.
But yeah, there's just, I don't know, I was just thinking about our survey, and that was to have someplace for the citizens to go that weren't on the lake, to get on a lake, and I thought, well, if one of those could
is there
somehow
there's
work.
public access on Jephthah Lake, right?
Yeah, but there's no way to, like, what if we wanted to go have a picnic or something?
Yeah, right,
There's no
right,
place for
right.
anybody without a boat to go.
We don't
Well, I think we're gonna set this up here for a nice community picnic place. We're gonna put out some, grills and around the pavilion, and
Which would be nice.
we got power out there. I don't know if you noticed that, but if you walk under it right now and the light switch is on, it will kick on and you can sit in there at night. I'm waiting for warm weather to use it.
The only other.
I'm gonna do something about the birds though, because they've been really,
Again, this is my public comment.
oh, I thought we were having a conversation.
What I was gonna say was, so, and Mike's still here.
He's not being reasonable now, is he?
So, we made a lot of mistakes, right? I mean, we didn't get the things out, and that's a good thing, but when we have somebody that's gonna do something, and I could feel his energy back there, and it was like, man, I'm not gonna do it. And I think we have to be so careful, and it's not you, it's just, we gotta start getting stuff done on time and doing what we need to do, you know, because it causes a whole lot of friction, and
It's unnecessary.
I would've just walked out, and I would've said, figure it out, you guys. But he's gotta now build his whole other schedule. And if he's not gonna do this, then he still needs to do that. It's kinda like when you sell houses and you call for multiple offers, you could lose everybody by, you know, trying to get a higher one. And could we advertise, I know we do the face or the top of the banner or whatever, but could we also do it in the reminder? Did we find out if it was legal, or is there an easier way to put these things in?
Things,
Like the 3 times for the sexton, is it just?
Well, everybody, Culvert, Arlington, Bangor, Geneva, everybody uses the reminder. Everybody does.
Yeah, I've seen them in the reminder.
Yeah, and it's the only actual publication that we have that's delivered.
well, to everyone except for me.
You tell her.
But all you have to do is call them and tell them. They go right past your house.
Yeah, just tell her and she'll go up and she did that.
You need a box put up.
So I guess my point is, I think everyone's been super hard and, you know, so like I worked on that, stuff for Christie's, and I was 3 hours, now I may have chatted a little bit, but I only got like 10 of the deeds assigned. So that's gonna take some work. Now, you said you had volunteers when you asked for that, and I hope you weren't thinking just me. I hope you have volunteers.
We need more. It's definitely
Volunteers, because
clear that we need more.
it's kind of set up, but now we could have, people could come in and work on that. We could set it up in here, kind of like a finding where's Waldo thing. Because I don't think that we're gonna be able to pay someone to do that. You know, we're gonna have to just try to
That would be a
muddle
fortune.
through it. So, yeah. And that's all I have to say. Public comment.
Okay, done with public comment.
What?
Mike, you got any public comment?
There's a lot of dead trees over in Reedville in this area. There's a couple ones that I was thinking of this year or the next couple of years are gonna fall down and they're very expensive. I would recommend, I'm not gonna do it, but I would recommend having somebody do taking them down. I could listen to people taking them down, you guys can listen to people taking them down, they're
I do know, and all I know is Tom the tree guy. I was over there doing the flagpole, and this guy comes walking out of the woods and asked me what I was doing, and anyway, my point is, he works with Michigan State and some other entity in the state of Michigan with trees. And he said, there's a tree, the oldest tree in the state is that big pine tree. It's huge. It's like 400 and some years old. And it looks like it needs to be cut down. It's half rotten. But, so I know what you're talking about.
there's one that is half rotten and almost
Yeah.
And I don't know if he has an option or something where the state can come in and do, I don't know. I don't even know how to contact the guy. He walked out of the woods, we talked, and he told me how to measure a tree to see how old it was, and I said, thanks.
Well, we can avoid the biggest tree, but there are multiple trees that we're gonna have to hire a tree service because they need to be able to use a lift.
Well, there's even roots we're going in and pulling up things.
But that's one of the many things,
That's gonna require a bid process.
yeah.
We had a cheap tree guy that lives over here in Florida. I'll give you the number. He isn't insured.
Good.
Okay, we're gonna close public comment.
He was almost done.
I do know a handful of guys, but I'm not good enough to recommend it. Recommend who we want to.
Some licensed and insured.
Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna go to K, correspondence announcements. Anything?
We're gonna have a special meeting on April 26th.
Got election coming up.
At 6 o'clock, there's election coming up. We have public accuracy testing and final election commission meeting on April 26th at 4 o'clock. The election is on May 3rd for the Bangor Village. Lots of them.
Is that Bloomingdale?
Nope, just Bangor.
Just Bangor.
That's the only thing that's on it. That is the only thing that's on it.
Okay, board comments. Gary?
No, my only comment is that, I was riding with, the DEP for a couple of Fridays, and, I don't know if the public knows it or not, but there's a lot of drug activity going on. We've got the drug team in the area. There were 55, different arrests. 55 different complaints came in, 7 different arrests and 55 complaints coming in of various types. The blight's doing well. There's some people you have to work with because they've had deaths in the family and whatever, but, I think that, what can be done is being done. It's just a little bit slower. But it's been this way for a number of years, and you can't clean it up in a year. You just can't do it. But, just wanted the people to know that there's a lot of activity, drug activity in this area. And our team, our Sheriff's Department's team is, in working with them. So we'll clean it up. And I already thanked Christie for her thing on the, information on the cemetery stuff. And congratulations, Mike. I'm not being a jerk or anything. Okay. And if you need something, if you need another hand, let me know. That's all I have.
Why I gotta do this? I shouldn't do this, but I'm gonna do this. Beverly? I guess she doesn't have anything to say tonight. Rhonda?
No, I wanna go home, I do.
She wants to go home. Christie?
Nothing.
Hey, I know that we had some very good conversations here tonight. Gary, I agree with you that we need to advertise. There are certain situations around here that just things aren't fluid right now. We're playing with a lot of stuff that is historical stuff that just keeps biting us in the butt. And, we gotta get better. We need to keep striving to get better, and I think we will. We just gotta keep working to do the best we can for the public. So, I suggest that we adjourn. Anyone agree?
I'll move turn at 9:25, whatever it is.
Yeah, we need a second? We need a second. Rhonda's got a second on it, so all in favor say aye. Aye. 9:35.
So are you taking me back?
Nope.